So this man is 99 years old, and he goes to the gym 3 times a week to work out. We know Dick Van Dyke. We remember him from the 60s sitcom show, and he'd walk in the living room at the beginning of the show, and he'd always trip over that ottoman, and it never got old. And we can go back and look at that now, and it's still funny. And then he was Bert in Mary Poppins. Say it with me, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I don't know if I said that right or not, but when you say it, it just kind of makes you smile, doesn't it? Well, Dick Van Dyke at age 99 has just published a new book called 100 Rules for Living to 100. He continues to work doing the things that he loves. He dances, sings, performs. He's also planning his 100th birthday bash. Well, if there's any senior that's breaking the rules, it has to be Dick Van Dyke. A lot of people, even in their 70s, will slow down, sit down, and go down. But not the actor Dick Van Dyke. His life and story is truly inspirational. And this is the first in a series of videos I want to do about some celebs who are old in years but don't act old, and in some cases don't really look old. I'm thinking next I'll do a video about Dolly Parton, and that'll give me a chance to tell the story about the time that I met her briefly here in Nashville. I hope that you'll subscribe and you'll be notified when these other videos come on. Well, for some time, Dick Van Dyke has been talking about his life as he's been growing older, even before writing this book. And so I thought we would just talk about a few of those things that he's been saying, and we'll list those as rules in this video. Rule number 1, Dick Van Dyke says that you need to move every day. I just recently met a guy who goes to the gym where my wife and I goes, and for the last 4 years, he's been coming almost every day to this workout center to walk. He walks on the treadmill for at least 30 minutes. He's 84 years old. Now, he doesn't really walk fast, but he's consistent. He is committed, and he keeps coming whenever the doors are open. If that's all you can do is walk and maybe just walk around the house, then do that. Just wander in circles around the house. And if somebody asks you what you're doing, tell them you're looking for your glasses. And then they'll probably join in to try to help you find your glasses. And then there'll be a big smile on your face because you already know where they are. So try to make it a little bit fun if you can. As I mentioned, Dick Van Dyke goes to the gym at the age of 99 to work out 3 times a week. And I asked myself, I wonder if I'm still alive at age 99, will I be able to do that? Well, one thing I'm pretty certain of is if I don't do it now, it's not likely I'll be able to do it then. I'll either be 6 feet under or confined to a bed somewhere. So that's a good rule to start with, is make sure you're moving every day. I don't want to spend all my time with old people. Some of it, sure, we have common interest and things that we like to talk about, but I don't want to spend all of my time with them, especially if they're people that are constantly talking about their aches and pains or the prostate surgery that they had, or what time does the pharmacy close? I want to spend some time around young people to get some of that energy. I think there's kind of a infusion of their energy when we spend time with young people. I like living in a regular neighborhood. I know there are a lot of people that move to these 55 and up communities and really love it, and I can see some advantages to that. Not everybody loves them. I was listening to one woman who talked like she felt like she was living on a conveyor belt to the funeral home because an ambulance was coming through the community just about every day, it seems, picking somebody up. But the nice thing that I like about living in a neighborhood is I can look out my window and I can see young families walking down the street, husband and wife, maybe a couple of small children, maybe even a stroller with a baby in it. I can hear children playing out in the yard. I can walk down the street and I can see kids' chalk drawings on the driveways and the sidewalks. I just like to be around that youth. I think it helps me. And that's a pretty good rule. Dick Van Dyke's rule. Find a way to hang out with young people. Rule number 3, Dick Van Dyke says, don't retire from meaning. You know, when we worked, when we had a job, our job gave us a built-in answer to the question, what do you do? But then when we retire, what do you say? We usually will say, well, I'm retired, because that sounds better than saying nothing. I do nothing. Well, you cannot have a job, but you still need to have meaning and purpose in life. Some people find that through continuing to work in some way, and that's fine. But it doesn't have to be a job. It has to be something where you feel like you're contributing and giving value to others. You know, producing these videos for this YouTube channel, I think is serving that purpose some for me. I've learned that they call us, those of us who put these videos together, content creators. So that's the label that they put on us. And as I was thinking about that, I realized I've been a content creator all of my life. I mean, every week I was creating content in different ways and delivering that to people, and hopefully that was providing value to people. And I hope this little channel of mine, these videos that I put together, will over time add value to people's lives. It is a part of what gives me some purpose and meaning. And we all need that in life. So if you haven't found yours, start looking. It may take some time. Don't get discouraged. Keep on looking, and you'll find where you belong. Well, rule number 4 is, and I had to mention this one, make your own rules. So you don't have to follow Dick Van Dyke's rules. You don't have to follow my rules. Make your own rules, what makes sense to you. I think what Dick Van Dyke is saying is mostly don't live by the stereotypes. It's kind of what we're saying on this channel. Sometimes you've got to be a little defiant or stubborn. And if the stereotypes or someone tells you you're too old, you can't do that, you just have to be a little bit stubborn, and you have to say, watch me. I don't know why Dick Van Dyke has lived to 99 and may very well make it to 100. Maybe he's one of those people who's lucky enough to be swimming in the right gene pool to give him long life. But I think it's a lot more than that. I think he's just been a little bit defiant. And when he's been told you can't do that, he said, just watch me. So what about you? How are you doing on these rules? Let us know down in the comments. As for me, when I go to work out, I don't think I'll dance between the machines like Dick Van Dyke does. Although, when I think about it, that might clear the room out, leaving it all to me.